I just checked my student loans because I needed to get the information to someone, and what the I started with $80,000. I have been paying for 10 years. Last year, I paid $6,000 lump sum because that's really the only way to get it low. That took it down to $76,000 after I've been paying for 9 years. The grand total is I have paid $120,000 and I still owe $76,000. How the is this possible? What? I think I might be late to the game learning about this. Student loans are really messed up.
Yeah, student loans are very messed up, and that's kind of the moral of the story today, because you've been paying for 10 years, still owe $76,000. The math is not mathing. Student loans is literally a crisis, and it's something that honestly I did not know was quite this bad. You know, I went to school for a little bit before dropping out, and thankfully I was able to pay off all of my student loans, but again, it was nowhere near any of the stuff we are getting ready to see within this video. And as you can see from that first testimony we had, it's pretty bad. It's robbery, I agree. Careful about a silly college. Trade school is a better option. In most cases, for most people, I believe a trade school, especially directly out of high school, is a much better option. So yeah, I'd agree with this.
So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
My name is Sydney. I'm 17, and my major is Cinema and Media Studies.
How'd you pick that major?
I took a film class in high school, and I really liked it, so I wanted to apply here.
And what do you hope to do with that major in the future?
I'm not completely sure. I think I would love to make films, but also I do like the analyzing part of it as well.
Okay.
So
Do you currently make films right now?
not right now, but I have throughout the past year.
And do you have any student loans?
Yes.
Would you be willing to share like how much student loans you have?
$20K for this semester.
Yeah. Is that scary? Like, how do you want to approach tackling that debt?
That's very scary to think that after college I'm going to have a lot of loans and just be in a lot of debt and it affecting, I guess, like my credit and things like that as I go on.
So I assume you're just going to work after college and then like take a portion of that money and pay the debt off slowly?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Good Lord, $20K just for the one semester? She gonna be $150,000 all in when she's finished. That's ridiculous. Again, not trying to pick on her, obviously, nothing against Sydney on this, but I don't know, I feel like this is just what's wrong with it, right? Like, she's 17 years old. She's putting that amount of money, $100,000 worth of money, based on her just enjoying a class at 17 years old. I'm not saying don't go to school, right? I'm not saying don't go study what you want to study, but when majority of these students who go to college and start pursuing their degrees end up changing their majors anyways, like, it just goes to show that making that kind of commitment to really just throw that amount of money into a career at that young of an age probably isn't that good of an idea. I mean, just think back to you watching this video right now. Think back to when you were 17 years old. How many things that you would have thought at the time that you think about completely different now? Right? Like, I'm assuming you're probably a completely different person, right? There's things that you would have been interested in then that you're not interested in now. There's things you would have spent your money on then that you definitely wouldn't spend a dime on right now, right? So the fact that they allow you to make that kind of financial decision at that age is just, it's wild, but hey, that's the world we live in, y'all. The girl is lost. Is she though? Is she really lost though? That's what I'm getting at though. I don't think it's necessarily her fault, right? Like, I feel like I fell victim to the same thing. Thankfully, after like 1 year of school, I caught myself and snapped out of it. I really started to see things for what it really was and realized, like, oh, all the richest people I know, they have nothing to do with any college at all. Like, they just started a business and blew up, blah blah blah. Yeah, I wouldn't blame this on her at all. I would blame this on the system and the way that things are, right? So, yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say she is lost, or if she is lost per se, I wouldn't say it's 100% her fault, right? Like, we all have free will, we're all free thinkers, but it's designed for us to fail. It is. She's going to be in for a rude awakening when she graduates. Useless degree. Yeah, her being a film major, if you didn't know, I have some experience working within the film industry, I guess you could say. You know, I've been in some commercials, things like that. And again, majority of the people I saw who were doing the best didn't ever go to film school. They didn't have a degree in acting or anything like that. A lot of the best directors, they just kind of just got into the industry. It's more about who you know rather than what you know. And me personally, I feel like I found some success because a lot of my peers at the time where I was really doing acting, they were all like very into it. I mean, like doing Broadway and plays and stuff as kids, and like they took it so serious, and it was that aspect of it that really stressed them out. Versus me, I was kind of just like, hey, this is just some extra side money. Like, I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was just like, yeah, let's go get some screen time. I took it very calm and relaxed, and because of that, I was able to be much more calm in auditions, and I didn't really trip out, and I didn't care, because obviously there's going to be a lot of rejection in an industry like this. Whether you're an actor auditioning for things, most of your auditions are going to just be like, yeah, no, we don't want you. So dealing with that rejection, if that's like your heart and your soul, you're going to care way more. Versus me, I was just like, oh yeah, it's okay, on to the next one. Like, I didn't care. That was never my main thing. I never had the goal to like be an A-list actor. And even from like the director or screenwriter or whatever side of it, you're going to be pitching work to people and to companies for funding and stuff like that too. So a lot of the times they're going to open the first page of your script and be like, this is trash, throw it in the trash. So yeah, anyways, that was just a film industry rant. You didn't really need that, did you? Yeah, okay. But circling it back to this comment about the degree. The degree itself, yes, pretty worthless, but who knows? At a big school like USC, maybe she found the connects, and obviously they're out there in California in a very big industry for film, like LA, you know, in that area. So it could be a waste, it couldn't. Depends on who she rubs shoulders with, bumps shoulders with, shakes hands with. I don't know. Anyways, for this semester, same thing I said. That's crazy. It's crazy work. Waste of time and money. That's not just money. That's precious years you ain't gonna get back. That 17, 18, 19-year-old energy, you can be spending it in college, drinking, doing whatever, or you can be spending it out, you know what I'm saying, working on something else and finding and exploring the world and finding yourself. A lot of people don't find themselves until after they graduate, 22, 23, 24, 25, and you know, some people who don't go to school, I find they have them same realizations at like 18, 19 years old. Therefore, they have a head start on all the people who chose to go to college. She's projected to have close to $160K in loans after 8 semesters. How does she expect to pay for that with a film degree? Yeah, we get it, y'all. Y'all see the problem here. Again, not to pick on her, but this is it, y'all. This is precisely what this video is about.
With $150,000 in student loan debt, this is how much I'm expected to pay monthly. I went to UC Irvine and took about $80,000 in student loans. Half of that was about PLUS loans, and the other half was just federal loans. And I graduated with my bachelor's in biological sciences. After graduating, I was making about $15.50. And I was working as a medical scribe and front office. And I hated that job so much, I quit after like 2 to 3 years and went to nursing school. I went to a private nursing school, which is West Coast University, and had to take about $90,000 in loans, which was a mix of private loans and federal loans. So back then, before I went to nursing school, I was making about $2,400 grossly a month. Now I'm making close to $9,000 a month, and that's about a 360% increase in my salary. So now my monthly repayment is about $399 for my PLUS loan, $721 for my federal loans, and for my private loans, it's $605, but I pay $655 with that extra $50 going into my principal balance. So in total, monthly, I pay approximately $1,775 a month just for my student loan debt. Since payday is coming on Friday, like for part 2, where I talk about how much money I have left after paying off my loans.
Yeah, part 2 is not necessary. $1,700 a month on loan payback is just, cannot fathom that. I don't know what's worse, paying $1,700 a month back in loans or paying $1,500 or $1,200 or $1,500 for a vehicle. Like, they both are just wild to me. She had the courage to, after already going through 4 years of school and getting $80,000 in the hole, she came out and realized, oh, I'm only making $15 an hour. Like, let me try this again. That is crazy. Who has the courage to do that? Now, in her case, thankfully, it did work out, because now she's making $9,000 a month, which is a pretty significant amount of money, especially in today's economy. Most people are, I mean, you seen before, she was making $2,400 a month, so 360% salary increase, like she said. That's pretty solid. However, it's still going to take a while to pay all those loans back. Good Lord. You got this, friend, but also, how are you making $9K a month? Facts. That seems like a lot for just like a nurse, especially like entry level. She's a nurse in California. Oh, well, okay, yeah, probably in Cali they probably make a little more, but sheesh, yeah, that seems pretty solid to me. Same. I pay $1,700, so y'all see, it's not just the creators doing this. This is a lot of people out there. Someone commented and said that's not even bad. Paying $1,700 a month for the extended period of time is not that bad. I don't know what kind of money you working with, Brittany, but that'd be that bad for me. I'm not trying to pay upwards of $1,700 a month back just because I decided to go take some classes. I'm good. I'm cool. Someone commented and said, do you regret going to UC Irvine and wish you went to West Coast from the get-go? Because I was actually going to make a comment about this too and say she essentially like wasted her money at the first spot, and then whenever she went to West Coast, that's where it seemed like she really made the right decision. She could have just did that out the gate had she took some time and really decided what she wanted to do rather than just jumping straight into something straight out of school. But right underneath of that, the creator commented and said, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was 18, and UC Irvine helped me navigate through it all. It wasn't until I was 24 when I realized what I wanted to do. Now, you could look at this either way. You could be like, well, UC Irvine helped her decide what she wanted to do, but on the other end of things, that kind of goes back to like what I was saying. People have their kind of discovery period in life where they decide what type of stuff they're into. They have their trials and tribulations, and a lot of people, that's after they finish school, right? Like whenever they get out of college and they get into the real world, that's whenever they'll really kind of have that. But the people who straight out of high school decide not to go to college, they usually have that 18, 19, 20 years old. By the time they're 21, they really kind of have a decent map on the world, while other people are still in college, not going to get that until they're 24, 25. This comment really supports what I'm saying too, at least in my head. It wasn't until I was 24 when I realized what I wanted to do. You see what I'm saying? I've seen this just time and time again so many times, because people they're literally still teenagers. They don't know. The faster they can kind of get into the world, see how things work, see how things function, see what things work better for them than others, see what types of things they're really into, the better is what I think, right? Like, I honestly wish that I could have went through my realization earlier. You know, I was deciding to go and play college sports and do things like that, and that set me back another year whenever I really could have been like a year ahead. At least that's how I look at it in my head, right? But even with just that 1 year or 1.5 years in school kind of wasted, I still feel like I just had such a head start on all of my peers who were deciding to do these 4-year degrees, and a lot of them ended up being 5 because most of them took a semester off or failed a semester. You know how that goes. But yeah, just interesting comment. I'm glad she commented that, and I'm glad she replied as well. Almost $1,800 in just loans. Yeah, I think of it as a monthly payment for a very, very expensive car that I don't have. Taking it back to the vehicle thing, y'all. It always comes full circle. Ain't no way that's a house payment. Yeah, literally. How are you making $9K? Please, I need help making more money. Yeah. Anyways, we get the point. But this was a pretty crazy example. Shout out to the creator for being transparent about this.
I'm in my second year of medical school, and this is my current student debt, $191,000, and it literally goes up by hundreds every single day. And I currently have $8 in my bank account. It's like about $100,000 a year, and I think just right now in my mind it's not real money, because if I think of it that way, then I'm just gonna freak out every single day. So I honestly try not to think about it as much as I can and just trust that I'll be able to pay it off one day. I also know there are a lot of like programs that you can enroll in now to try to help alleviate that debt, but I just think it's outrageous how we're paying them to do service jobs that so little people want to do. And this is the reason why they don't want to do them, because like you get into your career and then you have $500,000 of debt. Mind you, I'm going to accrue more than $200,000 by the end of this. It's like I'm paying to give up so many years of my life to work for free, to help other people who need it, to go to underserved areas. Like, I'm paying you to do that. If anything, there should just be no payment at all. But I'm like just trying not to stress about it, because if I think about it, then I'm just gonna freak out. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, she was spitting bars. She was spitting for sure. $191K only in her second year. What is this, yo? And it increases by hundreds of dollars per day. Like, in my head, bad was like, oh, you owe $70K or $80,000 in student loan debt. I didn't realize there was really this many people that owed $100,000, $140,000, $160,000, $191,000. Like, that is just an outrageous amount of money just to have held over your head to me. Now, one thing she said that's very real is that in her head it's not real money, and I think that's kind of the problem with debt. Even just like little simple things like just having a credit card, a lot of people in their head it's not immediately being taken away from them, so it's not real money, right? That's the problem that people can kind of get into, that kind of cycle, that kind of loop. And she said, she thinks about it, she's just gonna freak out. But that's kind of what you have to do. You have to think about it like that, because at the end of the day, that's still being like, you're expected to pay that back. But then when she really got into it and started breaking it down, it's crazy how we're paying them to do service jobs that so little people want to do, right? If anything, you should be paying us more because these jobs are in such high demand, right? Wouldn't that make sense? That's just simple. And then on top of that, the whole ideology of why so many people don't want to do these jobs. Why? Maybe it's because they have to go $400,000, $500 in debt just to get this position. That's not worth it to most people. They're not trying to do that. No one wants to sacrifice that many years of their lives because, like she said, it's like I'm paying to give up so many years of my life to work for free. Which, if you think about it like that, that's essentially what it is, right? Because you're going to school for all those years, right? And then as soon as you get out of school, it's like, okay, you get your job. You should be getting paid, right? No, because a lot of that money you're getting paid is going right back into all your school. So essentially, it would feel like I'm working for literally free. I'm working for nothing because the money that I'm making is just getting put right back into this for years and years and years until I break even. And then from there, I can finally profit. So as if it doesn't already take so many years of school, you have all the time on top of that to pay the money back. This is a lot of time, right? I can make all the money in the world, but I can't make time back. That's the one thing I can't get back. So is it really worth it to most people? Is it? I don't play around about my time. I don't know about y'all. I do not play around about my time. That's why I'm so just punctual about things. I don't like being late with stuff. I don't like wasting my time on things, even if it's something that, seems like it won't take that much time. I'm just like, nah, bro, because I can't get that back, right? It's invaluable to me. So I completely understand that, and I'm glad she broke it down to this level because it really makes so much more sense. This is so scary. School should be free for everyone, especially people who are working to save lives. Exactly. If you're in med school, the career you have should be able to pay your debt off within 3 to 5 years. It's going to be worth it. Just trust. Like I said, to each his own, because again, that's so many years. That's essentially possibly 8 to 10 years of school or something crazy ridiculous like that, plus 3 to 5 years of paying off loans. That's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. There's so many other things I could do to accumulate that amount of money, that same amount of money a doctor could make without giving up that much time. It's just I don't know. That's just me though. Someone else that could be totally worth it, because being a doctor is an extremely fulfilling job for a lot of people, right? You're helping people, you're saving lives. So on that aspect of it, I'm not hating by any means. I'm not saying, oh, don't be a doctor, you're dumb if you do that. Not at all. Regardless, I will say that it shouldn't cost that much to become a doctor. That's crazy. You have to pay that amount of money just to get that kind of certification. I get it. If it's okay, they need to be in school for this long, they need this type of training, you can't just be cutting people open. I get that. I get it. But it's just the amount of money, man. That's all it is for me. Me in my second year of med school starting at $300K. Oh my gosh. Student loan debt is the main reason I'm too scared to go back to school. Someone below said this, and someone below that said literally. Yeah, people are starting to notice too, thanks to creators like this, kind of just talking about the situations, talking about how much it's going to cost, talking about how much they've been paying for years and still owing a significant amount of money. People are realizing, they're like, I don't want to owe that much money to anybody. I don't. I hate owing people money, me personally, so I get it. $200K and only in your second year, insane, truly. I'm over $200K in debt for being a PT, but a non-profit, so in 10 years, hopefully a lot of it will be forgiven. You better hope. You better hope. $200,000, boy? Yeah. I won a scholarship for $100,000 and still $80,000 in debt after that. Oh my gosh. Let me know your thoughts on it though. Are student loans out of control? Is college even worth it anymore? Let me know down below in the comments, and click this video right here. It's lit. You'll love it if you love this video, and subscribe to the channel. Join the family. We got all types of good things going on over here, and it is much appreciated. I'm going. See ya.